It is Tuesday, November the 6th, and you are back inside the Sports Lodge. John Lodge, Joey Chapman with you as always. And Johnny, it's been a while, but it's good to get back on the air here, and we got lots to talk about today.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we got one of these pods up, but we are always on air at Riot on every Thursday. But great to be speaking with you, man, a little bit more freely. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. Why don't we just start off right off the top? A little bit shocking news to me, anyway. I mean, it's been a slow start, but the second highest paid coach in the NHL has been fired. Yeah, he's behind Babcock.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fired from the Blackhawks. Coach Q is out the door. New coach is going to be Jeremy Colton. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Colton? I don't know who the hell Jeremy Colton is, but I did not expect to wake up and hear this news this morning. 6-6-2 is not great of a start, but obviously it's not the worst start in NHL history. Like, you can make that work if you're the Blackhawks. This is so far out of left field to me. To me, this, you can kind of see this coming on the wall just based on the firing of assistant coaches in the previous years, and obviously they haven't been happy with their results from the last couple seasons in Chicago, but you'd think Coach Q would be given every opportunity to turn this around, John. He's arguably the best coach in hockey, and this guy gets released. You hear Mike Babcock's comments about him today at the Leafs skate, and basically he says this is the truest part, and if he wants to work, Coach Quenneville's going to get a job in the NHL. There's teams that will fire their head coaches today to get Q behind their bench.
Seattle needs a coach.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
100%, and they're going to want to lock in a coach long before they start looking at players and like that. So,
yeah. Do they have a GM in Seattle?
No, I think all they got is Lewicki right now, right? And he's the president or something.
Yeah, he's in charge. I don't know if they have hired anybody on the hockey side of that yet. I guess it's premature. Like, George McPhee was the first hire for Vegas, right? And then
you got to hire a GM, but I would think that quickly after you're going to hire a coach.
Honestly, I think Coach Quenneville, John, he's a big enough entity. You could probably hire him and then the GM and kind of go backwards, kind of like what happened in Toronto with Babcock and then Lamoriello came in. I think it could, just because I don't think there's a GM in the league other than Stan Bowman right now that doesn't want Joel Quenneville at least to be a part of their squad behind the bench.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think for Bowman, he was forced to try and make a move, and this was the only move you could really make, save from trading one of your star players, and he's not ready to do that just yet. But if Chicago can't get it going, man, I see a rebuild coming. I see them blowing it up in the future.
Yeah, they're going to be in some issues. The Seabrook contract's obviously the biggest albatross for them, right? And with Kane and Taves both making their $10+ million, they're both great players, but you're going to need more. And to me, this is on Stan Bowman more than Joel Quenneville. I get the firing. If you think it's time for a little bit of a change, or it's just not working, you want to kick these guys in the ass, I can understand it. But to me, the blame for the Chicago Blackhawks over the last couple of years isn't the coaching. It's the lack of talent that they've been able to acquire. And that's on Stan Bowman. I get it. It's tough. You're drafting 30th. You're trading your first-round picks. You're doing lots of things to try and win right now. But it's got to be a real tough situation for Joel Quenneville. And I think Stan Bowman's probably a little bit out of desperation more than anything he's getting this job done.
Yeah, I think the Chicago Blackhawks will forever live on as a cautionary tale for every general manager to not give all your money to 3 people.
Well, like, I don't know.
Or 4 people.
Like, because I don't mind the Corey Crawford contract when he's healthy at $7 million. It's not terrible. And to me, it's this, like, he's locked up at 5.5, right? He's on the best deal ever. And it's the Seabrook deal he got emotional with. It was almost like Dean Lombardi in LA when he didn't buy out Mike Richards when he had the buyout window a couple of years ago. They could have got rid of Seabrook. They didn't have to re-sign him. I bet they probably could have got pretty good value for him when he was an upcoming UFA, whenever that was, 2, maybe 3 years ago, before he signed that massive extension, right? There was still, obviously, nobody thought Seabrook was the player that he used to be, but I'm sure there was teams around the NHL that would have probably paid a pretty good price for a veteran right-handed shot defenseman who's won a couple Stanley Cups.
Yeah, especially if you had traded him before people realized that he really wasn't worth that money.
Exactly. Well,
So,
yeah, let someone else give him the contract, right?
yeah. All right. Well,
Anyways,
let's
yeah.
move on from one dysfunctional team to another. The Ottawa Senators, Joey, they are in the news headlines again, and it's not for anything good. They were recorded by an Uber driver trashing their assistant coach, Matt Duchene, mostly saying how he hasn't listened to him in 3 weeks in meetings. Now everybody talks trash about their bosses and everything, and I can kind of understand where some people are saying this Uber driver shouldn't have released the video, and maybe he shouldn't have, but he had to have recording the video because if you're an Uber driver, you got to record everything, right? Anything could happen. So misstep. He probably looked at his footage and said, "I can get a million hits on YouTube with this, no problem." And now he's gonna eat crow for it. But where do you fall on this? Do you think he should have released it or?
Well, I'm sure he got paid for it. I don't think I'm sure somehow he had the video and went to the Ottawa Citizen. I believe that's who released the video first. Said, "Look, I got video of 6 Ottawa Senators talking shit about their head coach. You want it?" And they went, "Yeah, I would. I would very much like that because it's pretty good clicks for Post Media and Company." Look, I think it's bullshit though. Like, I don't really think this is a story. You get everybody talks shit about their boss. Every single human being on earth, they get in a room and like they've probably had a couple beers. They're in an Uber, right? They're doing the right thing. They're Ubering home from dinner or something. They've had a couple beers. They're not a good hockey team. They're in Arizona. They're talking shit. Who cares? Like, to me, this is just such an odd story. I feel really bad for these guys. They had to go out and issue a statement today, which you have to do. You have to get ahead of this. But to me, especially if you've been in a locker room and if you've like you just hang out with the boys, this stuff's gonna happen, and I don't think the coaching staff for Ottawa is gonna take real offense to it. I don't think I just don't think it means anything. I'm upset for the players that they have to go through this, Sean.
The only thing that bugs me is that the Ottawa Senators suck. And if Matt Duchene isn't listening to his assistant
I don't know
coach,
if that was Matt
maybe.
Duchene though. I watched the video. I didn't think it was Duchene who said that.
Okay, sorry, I haven't actually seen the video. I'm going off of what I've read.
Like it could be Johnny. I don't know the Ottawa Senators by voice, but I didn't even see Matt Duchene because I watched it this morning. I didn't even see Matt Duchene in the car until the very
Oh,
end.
he was in the car, yeah.
No, he was, but like it's a van, right? And you can't
Mhm.
see. There's 3 guys in the back seat, and you just have no idea they're there until the other 3 guys who are in the front seat get out of the car, right? So
Yeah.
it could have been Duchene, but like honestly, I think that he's just the biggest name on board. And oh my god, if you look at Ottawa Twitter right now, it's just like they're bashing these guys. They think this is poor leadership. They think this is like terrible for the team. And I don't see that at all, John. I don't think this is a leadership. I don't blame Matt Duchene. Even if he's saying he's not paying attention, obviously that's different. And if that is Matt Duchene saying that, then that's a problem. But if these guys just talking shit about their coach, like I don't know, man. I don't think this is a real problem.
I guarantee that if you recorded the coaches' Uber drives, that you probably hear some stuff being
Oh my
talked about the
god.
players. But my point being is if you suck and now you're caught on video saying you're not listening to your coaches, then now we know why you suck. Maybe you should listen to your coaches. So
Maybe.
I don't care if
Yeah,
you think
hey.
he's not teaching you anything. Show me that you've listened, and then if it doesn't work, then complain.
It was very new school, some of the comments, right? Like these guys were just like, he doesn't tell you, teach us, he just shows you. And it's like, it's a very new school hockey mentality is these guys don't want to be, like they can see that what's wrong in the play. Like they can see the other team scoring the goal. They want to know why this is happening and what they need to do. And it's a very different time in the NHL, and I had never heard of this assistant coach. Like, yeah, and I really like your point there, Johnny. If you heard the coaches talking about players, like they probably like rip them so hard every game. Like, and the coaches' dinners just gotta be fucking hilarious sometimes, and like it goes both ways. It's a long year. Teams need to vent. To me, John, I think this could actually galvanize the Ottawa Senators. I think this is really going to be something that turns them against the media because this is just total horseshit. Getting recorded like this and having your privacy violated. I don't blame the Uber driver for recording them. I just blame him for releasing it.
Yeah.
Like if he made good money off of it, like if they paid him 50 grand, good for you, buddy. But like it's just It's just so scummy to me. It just doesn't make me feel
Yeah.
good, right?
It's really
Uh,
underhanded and sleazy. Okay, so you talked about not knowing what was going on. How about someone who didn't know what was going on last night? Dak Prescott in that final play of the game for the Cowboys was scrambling around, and it was just a real story for the entire second half for the Cowboys, right? Like it almost seemed
mhm.
like every play was a broken play, Joey. And I don't know what I was watching, and Tennessee took advantage of a weak Dallas Cowboys team.
Yeah, Dak Prescott just did not look great last night, Johnny. And to me, though, it was the Tennessee defense. They looked really, really good. They did a really good job of just stopping Ezekiel Elliott. He did absolutely nothing on first and second down, and you heard it during the broadcast, and it got a little awkward at times, but the Dallas Cowboys just kept running the football on first downs, and they weren't succeeding at all. Look, I get it. You got Zeke Elliott, and you want to feed him the ball, but when it's not working, you got to find a way to get Dak Prescott more involved, and when the big moments came up, he certainly didn't take advantage last night, John. Just another brutal Monday Night Football game.
I mean, you could have even thrown Zeke a couple screen passes, right? Like you don't have to just hand him the ball. Put a couple guys in front of him, throw him a screen, and see if how many yards he can get. Completely agree with you. It was crazy because at the beginning of this game, in the first quarter, you would have thought that it was the Dallas defense that would have been the story. I mean, two forced fumbles and a possible third that was called back because the guy was it wasn't a catch. What a first quarter by Dallas defense, but then the Cinderella turned back into a pumpkin, man.
Yeah, it just was not good at all from the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones comes out and says we're not going to fire Jason Garrett, which I believe that they're not going to fire him during the year, but I think this is going to be the off season that Jason Garrett finally gets the axe in Dallas. It seems like it's just been way too long. Mike Vrabel though, Johnny, really, he's been a real good coach for the Tennessee Titans, and people gave him a lot of crap for going for the win a couple of weeks ago. I forget who they played, where they went for two on the final play of the game and didn't get it. But he's got these guys playing hard in Tennessee, and I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they can give Houston a real run for the division as we have hit the halfway mark of the year.
Play enough years under Bill Belichick, and you'll learn how to coach, man. I'll tell you. There are a few guys there that I think in the next few years are going to pop up as really good head coaching candidates. And I mean, it's all because of the super system out there in New England. And I'm not saying he runs the same system, but he knows how to call a football game properly as a head coach. And I love seeing it. Mike Vrabel doing a great job. I did not like the 2-point conversion call from a couple weeks ago. I thought it was a little bit aggressive. But you know what?
Aggressive, definitely aggressive.
You need to do what you can do to get those games in that division. So Tennessee looking good though, looking like they're going to continue and probably take that division down.
I don't know about that, Johnny. Houston's pretty good too. Like they had a
Houston's
good
going to
week.
have to continue to be good though, right? Like I
Yeah,
think Tennessee's hitting their stride.
Like at the end of the day, I think Houston's more talented on paper, like especially on defense with that front end. Like they're just so good. But I really, really like this Tennessee Titan team, and if that dual running back combo of Henry and Lewis can continue to do what it did last night, just gouging holes and really being like a flash and dash punch, they just carved up Dallas's defense last night. And Dallas isn't a team that just gets run on like that. Like they're not great defensively, but they've been able to shut down some pretty good guys. So a real good effort from Tennessee last night, and you're definitely going to see them in the playoffs, I'm thinking.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this all ends up in that division. But like I said, I just think Tennessee's hitting their stride, and if Houston can continue to be strong, then yeah, it's going to be close down to the wire. But I'd like to see this Tennessee Titans team in the
I think
playoffs.
it's definitely going to be the closest division in the AFC as we move forward here at the halfway mark. Johnny, let's talk about the Sunday Night Football game. As you're in your Pats jersey, it looks like a TB12 jersey, rocking the True GOAT. Look, it was a real good game. Well, it wasn't like a great skill game between the Green Bay Packers and the New England Patriots, but when it came down to clutch time in the fourth quarter, Brady just does what Brady always does, and he was clutch, 150-something yards for a touchdown compared to Rodgers, who went for 14 yards in the fourth quarter, something just terrible. Patriots win, and the Green Bay Packers lose two in a row, and John, as good as Aaron Rodgers is, I think we're seeing that he's just not good enough to elevate this mediocre Green Bay Packer team, as he just couldn't do it all by himself against the Rams, and then he didn't really have it against the Patriots on Sunday night, and they just didn't look good.
You ever see this dude playing for another team? Aaron Rodgers. Now, people said Brett Favre would never play for another team either. So,
Yeah, like I think everybody's like I still see Brady playing for another team. To be honest with you, like
I
I think everybody's gonna play for it. I just don't see it in this day and age.
I just don't think Green Bay's got the capital to bring in the talent he needs, as well as the fact that they literally live in the North Pole of the United States. Like,
Yeah, but I don't think that matters.
I think it
Like,
matters to a lot of people who don't
but
want to
when
play
you're
in that
winning,
weather.
John, like when like people wanted to play in Green Bay when Brett Favre was winning 3 MVPs in a row, right? Like
Yeah, but you got to be
I
winning
think you
first.
I think you got to be winning for sure to before people will come. But I think Aaron Rodgers is still a big enough draw, don't you?
Maybe, but like, do you think that you're enough to add to Aaron Rodgers to make yourself into a championship, or does Aaron Rodgers maybe think that he is the missing piece to another team? You know, like it's going to be interesting. I see Aaron Rodgers playing somewhere else, I really do, but he's a hyper or super loyal dude, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know if I don't know. I just don't
The
know if
new
Aaron.
contract hasn't even kicked in.
I
Where do
know,
you think he's
I know.
like?
I think he's
do you
hyper
think they'll
loyal.
cut him eventually? Like what? How do you see this playing out, John?
Well, I think if it keeps going downhill, I don't think they'd cut him. If he doesn't have a no move clause, I think that you could probably get a king's ransom for a dude like that. And California is looking pretty nice. Not that you could go to the Rams where he played in the old stadium there, but California is looking nice, and Las Vegas is going to need a quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few years with Aaron
Can you
Rodgers.
imagine John Gruden and Aaron Rodgers together? That would just be ESPN's wet dream. Jesus. One other thing from this Pats game, Johnny, is just Cordell Patterson playing running back for the second week in a row. Didn't look really good against Buffalo, especially when I saw it live. It was just not pretty, but pretty reasonable. On Sunday night against the Pack, he found a way to move the chains a little bit, and Patriots are desperate to get anything going from their run game without Sony Michel and with no Rob Gronkowski either. They beat the Packers, and look, we're going to talk about this Rams game in a second, but the Patriots, to me, after beating the Chiefs and now they've beat Green Bay, I know they're not the '07 Patriots or the '04 Patriots. Fuck, they might not even be the '14 Patriots in talent level, but this team is more than good enough to win a Super Bowl this year. And at this point, it's AFC Championship. Like, just mark it for the New England Patriots at this point.
Could you imagine a KC New England AFC final? Is that possible?
Absolutely. Well, it's probably going to be the 1-2 seed, and I'm just hoping KC loses a game. They just need to lose one more. I don't expect the Patriots to win out, but if I just need KC to lose one more game than New England, and the Patriots will have the first tiebreaker, right? So I think that it's very possible that you see that as an AFC Championship game, unless somehow the Chiefs fall in the first round, which an Andy Reid coach team wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, like first time in the playoffs, sort of a choke sort of thing. Yeah, I can see that maybe happening. It would be crazy to see another New England Super Bowl and to go through possibly Pat Mahomes and Jared Goff and Todd Gurley, because I'm pretty sure that's coming. That's who's coming out of the NFC, unless, and let's just lead right into it, LA Rams versus New Orleans. That's going to be the NFC Championship game. And so unless it's the two older statesmen coming out for a run at the Super Bowl, Breeze versus Brady, or we might see a couple young guns or a mix. So I think we're in for some fun this year in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, that'd be fun. If that's probably the best case scenario, John, is if that's your Final Four standing. Unfortunately, it just never happens that way, right? Like it's never the best four teams at the end. It's always like somehow Tennessee will get the AFC Championship game, or like Baltimore will slide in there. Or even in the NFC, I think it's more cut and dry, right? Just like I think the Rams are just so good. And let's talk about the game a little bit. New Orleans carved them up. That back end obviously isn't healthy right now with the Los Angeles Rams, and they're getting torched. You saw on, I believe it was the Cooks touchdown, Marcus Peters just getting the Demaryius Thomas touchdown, Marcus Peters just getting absolutely torched. But
Demarius Thomas, man.
Demarius Thomas. No, not Demarius Thomas.
No, sorry,
Michael
Michael
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Michael
Sorry.
Thomas.
New Orleans looks good though. Did you have any beef with the touchdown celebration, John? With the like the phone coming out from underneath the uprights? I loved it. I
I
loved
thought it
that
was
shit.
awesome.
But
He's going to get a
yeah,
fine
okay.
for sure, but I thought it was
Probably
awesome.
because the NFL sucks, so
Yeah.
they'll fine them. It's just that's my least favorite part of the NFL. It's my favorite league to watch, but I hate it the most because I think their rules are so fucking stupid and they do dumb things all the time. And like, I'm sure they find them. I'm so sure they find them.
I think the best celebration I seen on Sunday was the Seattle celebration, though. They did a coordinated dance. I believe it was Seattle. I can't remember who it was, to be honest. I didn't watch much of the game, but I caught a touchdown. I don't know if it was by the defense or not, but they did a coordinated dance, and it was
nice.
Good job by those guys getting all the moves off on time.
What did you think of, I believe it was Jarius Byrd going right to the Dallas Star logo in the first half yesterday?
A little bit of TO there, eh?
But
little bit of TO there, eh? Like, you would have thought. I don't think the game is the way it was anymore. I don't think people are dumb enough to run and body check you off the Star if you go and do it. But yeah, he's definitely doing his best to get some attention.
I would have killed him if I was a Dallas Star. Like, someone did come over and push them all off the Star, and they didn't really do anything. But I would have run headfirst. I would have got ejected from the game. Like, I swear to God. I would have no time for that on my home field on Monday Night Football. Just cannot believe the Dallas Stars didn't, Dallas Cowboys didn't.
I always call them the Dallas Stars, too. Like, their logo makes no sense. I was just saying,
yeah. It's the same logo. I never, whatever. But, yeah, I just can't believe that. It was funny to me. Like, I have no beef with it from Jarius Byrd. I would have hated it as a Dallas Cowboy and as a fan. But anyways, back to this game. I think New Orleans has what it takes. To me, John, if the NFC Championship game, if it's New Orleans, LA, both defenses just aren't good. I think it's going to be who plays at home is going to be the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Like, whoever gets home field in that championship game, I think it's probably the same thing in the AFC if it's Kansas City, New England, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. Home field normally does have the emotional advantage, and all four teams are just so good, right? They're just so good that you pray for that kind of matchup, and then you just sit down and you enjoy whatever happens, no matter what side you're cheering for. You're in for a good game.
Yeah, that honestly, if we get to the AFC and NFC championship weekends and go, no matter what happens, we're going to get a pretty good Super Bowl. That's all that matters. Because, but there's always a team who's just like, shit, please don't win. Because, like, nobody wants to watch you in the Super Bowl.
Raiders, Tampa Bay, you remember that one?
Oh, my God. I don't know who it's going to be, but there's somebody. And, like, look, we're only halfway through the year here. Somebody's going to get hot. Somebody's going to make a run. We just don't know who it is yet. And that's why sports is the best. Because you're just going to have to watch and find out. Let's move on, John. The Toronto Raptors had themselves a pretty good weekend if you count last night when they beat the Utah Jazz. They went into LA and dummied LeBron without Kawhi. To me, that was best case scenario. I don't know about you, but no Kawhi. Don't even let Kawhi play against LA and then just beat the wheels off of LeBron James in Sin City or in the city that never sleeps or whatever the hell you want to call Hollywood. But real good weekend for the Raptors, and everybody's looking good.
Yeah.
It's a real good start for Nick Nurse and company.
10-1 to start the year. Just an awesome record. And
I can't believe they've already played 11 games. That's so crazy.
Yeah, man. It's like an eighth of the season is already gone, or more than an eighth of the season is already gone. 10-1, and 3 of those games have been without Kawhi Leonard. Only 1 loss in those 3 games. Just a great job. I gotta give honorable mention here to Serge Ibaka for that game in Los Angeles. Like 35
Absolutely.
points and 20 points in the first quarter. Like the Raptors put 42 on LA in the first quarter, and 20 of them were from the big man. He missed 2 shots all night. All night, man. He was like 17 for 19. Just craziness, on fire. And if I were to tell you at the beginning of the year that Serge Ibaka was going to have a career high, you'd probably laugh at me because you like me would think that the best of Serge Ibaka's career is behind him, and he proved us all wrong. Now I'm not like I'm expecting 35 points out of them every night, but the way Nick Nurse has his 2 bigs working and they're never on the court at the same time, keeping them fresh, man.
Look, Serge Ibaka was a really good number 3 in OKC. Like when it was Durant, Westbrook, and Ibaka, I believe that the 3.
Durant, Harden, Westbrook, Ibaka.
Well, yeah, but then Harden left, right? So
Yeah,
then, but like
Harden
Ibaka,
left, but they all did play
Harden left
together.
first, and then Ibaka just slid right in there and was the third, right? And he was more than capable of fulfilling that position and was one of the best in the league at it, right? Because I can't remember where he got dealt to from
The
OKC, but
Magic.
was it the Magic?
Yeah.
Attaboy. Attaboy, Johnny. Thank you for having my back here. Look, Serge Ibaka's having a comeback, and Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Kawhi Leonard is as good of a big three as you're gonna get in the NBA if Serge Ibaka's healthy and running, right? Like this Toronto Raptors team is really good. Nick Nurse seems to be pushing all the right buttons. It's so early in the season, and I fully expect them to take their foot off the gas and let go a little bit here because this team's not going to win 70 games. But this is this is as good of a start as you can get for the Toronto Raptors, and just a quiet 10 wins so far. It just seems so crazy to me how fast the NBA season really like picks up and gets going, John. They start after the hockey season, but once they start playing, they're playing, and they don't really mess around. And I guess that's due because they have the extended break after their All-Star break, and they found a way to get more time off. But I guess it just means condensed schedules, and the Toronto Raptors certainly not making it look too difficult right now. Anything else you wanted to add basketball-wise, Johnny, before we move on?
No, just that the boys are looking good, and hopefully they keep this up and we get Kawhi signed to a long-term extension.
That is the goal, because, fuck LA. Mayweather, Johnny, in the news because Floyd Mayweather just needs to make more news. Sorry, your boy. I can never say the UFC fighter, but to make a knockoff or whatever. Flying
Habib
kick.
and Nurmagomedov.
Sorry, to make a man off. There it is. You're not fighting Floyd. You're not getting the $100 million payday. He's gonna fight some random nobody. I don't even have the name up in front of me, John. This is your home field a little bit, but goddamn, I don't know. Floyd Mayweather is going to make so much money off of this fight. He's fighting a kickboxer who can't kickbox. So this is I think he's found a little niche here. Find really talented guys from other sports and just box them, and you're going to win because you're a better boxer.
Is he just boxing him, or is he going to kickboxing?
No, he's not going to kickbox him. It's just a boxing.
I'm just wondering because from what I've been hearing with rumors that he might be trying to work his way up to fighting McGregor in the octagon. So the way to do that is to go from one to the next and add a little bit more each time. But I think that's far reach. Like I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I don't think so either, Johnny. I don't think even if you were gonna do that and you decided you were gonna start with a kickboxing match, like to move up to UFC, which is kind of irrelevant, right? Like you think you'd want to like grapple,
Yeah,
maybe.
probably.
But
yeah.
I really don't think that you would start with an undefeated monster like this kid is. Like you watch some of the highlights, he's pretty fucking scary. But Floyd's just gonna box him, and I have no doubt Floyd Mayweather's gonna do what he always does, and he's gonna not get hit and box his way out of it. At 40 years old, but I just don't get it, John. Like this guy must be so poor. This guy must blow through so much money if he can make $300+ million every 2 years, but still need to fight. Like I just don't get it. What are you doing, Floyd?
I don't know exactly. He probably just owes everybody taxes and owes everybody everything, and then
I just don't get it.
I don't know how he can be so cash poor all the time, but I'm going to be honest, man. Even if I was rich, if you can tell me I'm going to make $300 million, I'm fighting everybody every chance I get. Especially if you're undefeated and you know you can beat them and you just rope-a-dope them to death. Like Mayweather's a
find
genius.
a Japanese kickboxer to fight you in a boxing match, then why not, right?
Yeah, he's a genius. Did you hear that McGregor made a comment about this fight, by the way?
No, but I'm sure he did. Connor comments about everything. What'd he say?
Called it horseshit.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
What do you call it? A money grab? Like, Connor,
he pretty much called
it
it horseshit and chicken shit, and like in normal Connor speak. It was interesting. I don't want to talk too much about it. I think it's going to be a good money grab. Mayweather will obviously win.
Trying to get that Japanese cash money, right? I think he's probably realized he's played himself out a little bit here in North America, just at least for the time being. So go get that overseas money, baby.
Yeah,
and it's going to be in Japan, which I thought was weird, not Vegas.
Yeah, well, I put my foot in my mouth a little bit there. I said Mayweather would never fight outside of Vegas, and then he goes to fight in Japan. So,
fuck. $375 million, Johnny.
Just interesting, man.
Are you gonna buy it?
No, I'm not buying it. Are you kidding me?
No.
No, I don't watch
Yeah, you
boxing.
will. You're
It's
gonna
so
buy it. I
boring.
know you
No,
will.
it's
You're
so
gonna get
boring.
hooked.
Boxing is boring as hell. I bought that I bought the boxing pay-per-view from McGregor Mayweather, and literally I spent most of the night looking down at my tablet, texting people until the Mayweather McGregor fight came on. Boxing's not my sport. It's the gentleman's fighting sport, but I don't like it. Before we get out of here, I did want to bring up the one thing that happened over the weekend with UFC.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier beating my balls are hot Derek Lewis, and he chokes him out. I figured it was going to happen quick. The bigger point was Daniel Cormier once again calling out the big bad, the mean Brock Lesnar after the fight, and he telling him to bring his WWE title with him because he wants to take that from him when he beats him in the new year. So quite hilarious. Where do you fall on this? You think Lesnar will beat Cormier, or Cormier is going to beat the shit out of Lesnar?
I don't know. Do you think it's gonna happen?
Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
Is it?
Oh, 1,000,000% it's happening.
Can they get him off the juice though?
Well, he's off the juice right now.
Lesnar's off the juice.
Yeah, he's serving his USADA suspension right now.
Well, I don't know, man. I guess so. I think Lesnar will probably beat the shit out of him. Beats the shit out of everybody, right?
I'm on the exact
I love
opposite
Daniel
side.
Cormier, but I don't know. Brock Lesnar's a monster. I hope Cormier wins just because I like to see Dick Chest get his ass kicked. But I don't know, John. To me, Brock Lesnar's so irrelevant at this point. It's just, I hope, to me, what was his last fight where he came in and they basically just gave him an exemption for steroids?
Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt.
He just beat the wheels off of Mark Hunt, and then he lit the league up with positive tests right after, right? And the UFC was like, oh, whatever.
We made our money. Yeah, Mark Hunt quit too after that. So
right, it's just and I really liked Mark. He was the big Australian guy, right?
Yeah.
So, look, I hope Daniel Cormier beats the wheels off him. I get why he's doing it. He's just trying to make money, and that's what all these guys are trying to do. I just wish there was a new villain other than Brock Lesnar. That's just kind of how I feel about the UFC heavyweight division right now.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. And where I fall on this, I think Cormier chokes him out, just like he choked out Derek Lewis. I think that Cormier knows better than to throw fists with this man. As much as Cormier's got big, heavy fists, I think not to go into the lion's den and go face to face and try and throw hands with this dude, because if you catch a cinder block to the side of the head, the game's over. So
yeah, well, I hear you, but Brock Lesnar's not a joke on the ground either, right? I know Daniel Cormier he's a Division I All-American wrestler too, but Brock was that back in the day. So hey, I don't know. Johnny, you follow it way more closely than I do, and it's gonna be a fight, but I had real no interest in this UFC card over the weekend. It really didn't grab me. But look, go Daniel Cormier. I like him. He's a good guy. So I don't know. I don't have much more on this.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much all I had for it, and pretty much all we got for for this podcast, right, Joe?
Yeah, buddy. That's it for me. So rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back on Thursday on the radio. Look for us, and then hopefully we'll do another one of these on Friday. Get you set for all the NFL action as we move in to week 9 on the year. For John Lodge, I've been Joey Chapman. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Sports Lodge. We will talk soon.
Peace.